Hey folks, it's just me again, talking to you again, this time about some of the visions that I've seen about what's going to be there during the 1,000 years of peace. And on two of the three things that I'll be talking about, I'm going to be posting the verses that are in the Bible about these things, because they sound really far out. They sound really too supernatural to be believed that such things would actually be there. But the Bible says it's going to be there, and if the Bible says it's so, then I believe it's so. The first of three things during the 1,000 years of peace is the three greatest, most beautiful cities that are going to exist. The Bible says will be Jerusalem, Assyria, and Egypt. So the capital cities of those three major areas of the world are going to be the largest, most productive, most beautiful cities on the face of the planet. There's going to be a little triangle that, if you look at it from space, the amount of light that's there, and the road that connects the two or the three is going to be amazing. To cap it off, Overtop of Israel. This is the second thing, but if you look at it from space, you'll see two bright cities, which would be the one in Egypt and the one in Assyria, and the third one on top is going to be even brighter, and it's going to have a very distinct look from space. Because how do you talk about this one? Overtop of Jerusalem and overtop of Israel, the whole area. The Bible is going to, or the Bible says that God is going to do what He did in a way when He led the people out of Egypt, when He led them through the wilderness. The Bible says that by day He led them with a pillar of cloud, and at nighttime it was a pillar of fire that led them through the wilderness for those 40 days. And during the 1,000 years of peace, overtop of Israel is going to be a canopy. So the Bible calls it a canopy. During the day, it's going to be a cloud covering. So it's going to block out a lot of the UV light. It's going to provide a kind of filtered sunlight. Unlike any other place of the world, they will get direct sunlight, but over top of Israel, they will get filtered sunlight with this cloud. And by night, it's going to be a canopy of fire over top of there. So that will be providing them with nighttime or with light during nighttime. And some people will say, "Oh, but how can they sleep at night when it's always constantly bright?" But I'm sure they're going to have windows that will actually shut out the light so they can find some darkness to actually go to sleep. But that's why it sounds really sort of unbelievable, because overtop of Israel will be that canopy of cloud by day and a canopy of fire by night. And I believe I saw a vision like that in real life too. I didn't understand it at the time, but I was walking to my mom's place one evening, and the clouds were in such a way that when they were lit by the sunset made it look exactly like the entire sky. No matter where you looked in the sky, the clouds were shaped like fire, and the sunlight that shone through them from the sunset turned them an orangey red. So it literally looked like there was frozen fire in the sky, and that image stuck with me. And then when I came across it in the Bible years later, that image that I saw, that vision that I saw from that image, it struck me, and I saw that whole thing, and it looks pretty neat, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in real life. because like I said, from space, when you look at those three cities, the top one, the brightest one, is going to be Overtop of Israel, and it's going to be quite amazing, quite an amazing sight from space, and quite an amazing sight to see the canopy when you're walking on the ground, when you're in the capital city of Jerusalem, and you're just walking around during the day. I'm sure it's just going to look like a cloud covering, but at nighttime is when I look forward to seeing it, seeing all the fire up there and things like that, and it's going to be there all the time, and it's going to be looking pretty cool. The other thing, and this is the most amazing supernatural thing that I've seen, but again, the Bible confirms it. It's there in the Bible. I will provide in the comments sections, maybe even on the screen here. I'll put them up. The third amazing thing that I've seen is what the Bible calls the Way of Holiness, and it's a particular highway that is going to be there, and only the redeemed people of God can walk on it. Only those that have the regenerated nature. The natural flesh and blood people cannot walk on it. And I say it's amazing because it's a road that doesn't touch the ground. It's a road that's elevated off the ground, because the Bible says the animals will also not be able to set foot on it. And animals are always at ground level, and animals, if this road were accessible to ground levels, animals could naturally walk on it. And human beings, being the flesh and blood of the Adamic nature, they're always going to have that that little part of the nature that always wants to break the rules, that always tends to break the rules, as people of the flesh and blood always do. And so this road is not going to be accessible at ground level. But even then, someone of the flesh and blood nature could easily take a ladder and climb up onto it and try to set foot on it. So it's not going to be a road, it's not going to be a highway, it's not going to be a pathway that is built with natural material. It's not going to be built with asphalt or wood or steel or anything like that. It's going to be comprised of whatever kind of material God uses to make the streets of heaven. So it's going to be a kind of glowing, transparent road. What I've seen is a kind of transparent glass, but it's golden color. Like the streets of heaven, it's gold that is so pure that it's transparent. But the road that I've seen, the Way of Holiness, it's not solid. So if a person of the Adamic nature did try to parachute on top of it, he would just pass right through it. Solid earthly matter just passes right through it. So even if a bird tried to land on it, again, it would just pass right through it. It's a material that can only be touched by those with an eternal nature, those that are made of heavenly material, that the same kind of heavenly material that we, the redeemed, will have. We with our regenerated bodies. We will be the only ones that will be allowed to walk on it. And I don't know where it starts, probably somewhere outside of the borders of Israel, but it leads all the way through Israel and all the way up to basically the front doorways of the temple, of where Jesus will be sitting as king on the highest mountain in the world, which will be Mount Zion in Jerusalem. That's where the whole walled city will be. That's where the East Gate will be. So this road, the Way of Holiness, it will wind its way through the countryside of Israel, and it will eventually lead to the front doors at the East Gate. And we, the redeemed, will just use it to walk and talk, and just to sit and chat and feed the birds. Although when we throw our crumbs on the road, they'll just fall through and onto the ground, and the birds can pick it up from there. So anyway, those are the three most amazing supernatural things that I've seen about the 1,000 years of peace, and I look forward to seeing them all. The three great cities, Jerusalem, Assyria, and Egypt. I look forward to seeing that triad lit from space and see exactly what it looks like. And I look forward to seeing the canopy of fire at nighttime over top of Jerusalem. That's going to be quite the sight to see too. And I also look forward to taking a stroll on the Way of Holiness. And those of you who are watching, I'm sure one day we can look back and we can say, actually some of us will remember these days of old, but most of us will forget about the ways that were before the rapture. But we can sit and stroll and have a talk about whatever it is people talk about during the 1,000 years of peace. Because there's going to be no more war, there's going to be no more violence, no more suffering, no more birth defects, no more things that make life for human beings a challenge, and a great challenge. It's just going to be so much better, so much more peaceful, and it'll be a really cool time. Some of the stuff that I've seen, I've been posting about the 1,000 years of peace, and trust me, it's going to be an amazing time there. It's going to be so beautiful. Apart from the authorities and responsibilities that we'll be asked to do, there's going to be so much fun too. Okay, anyway, that's it. Have fun wherever you are in internet and YouTube land. Remember, Jesus is Lord. The rapture is coming soon, and we'll see you somewhere up in the air, if not somewhere over there, during the 1,000 years of peace. See ya. Have fun.